Welcome back, everyone, to 10 Questions with the Panthers, with us, the Likely Lads. And this week we have two Panthers on. First, we got Stuart Broad and also John Wellington. How are we, boys?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, good. Thanks for having us, gents.
No worries.
Yeah. Hope everyone's keeping all right.
Yeah. Do you want to give yourself an introduction, boys? Stuart, want to go first, or?
Yeah, cheers, Nick. Cheers, Mike. Stuart Broad, aka Gumpy, Secretary of Aberafan Quins for my sins. And I'm one of the founding members, along with Andrew, John, and Terry of the Talbot Panthers Mixed Ability.
Happy days.
Yeah, John Wellington, Aberafan Green Stars. Mike serves me more Guinness than I should be served over a period of time, and it'll be nice to see you serving me again. And I see Deck in the corner heading them, so it's all good, you know. But yeah, just desperate to get back to rugby now, boys, and I'm sure we'll cover that now in the next few minutes or so.
Yeah, all of us can't wait. Whether we're watching, playing, or coaching, and none of us can't wait. Yeah, so first we'll go to you, Stu. Why did you join the Panthers?
It all started for me about 2 years ago, where Andrew Harris contacted me out of the blue. Initially, I'll be honest, I felt like I was being set up a little bit because Gareth Bates and Andrew got me down the Stars and actually got me into a Stars jersey. Now, as Quinn's secretary, I could get into a bit of trouble for that. Although, believe it or not, I did play my youth rugby with the Stars. Not a lot of people know that, but Quinn's didn't have a youth team when I was around that age. So, they dragged me down and got me in a Stars jersey, and we played a match against Swansea Gladiators. And I'll be honest, I didn't really know anything about it. I didn't even know until I turned up and put my boots on. I didn't know what Swansea Gladiators was. Yeah. And it was one moment I remember in particular on that game whereby there was a disabled lad playing for Swansea and he scored a try. And it's the only time in my time of rugby, 42 this year, and it's the only time in my playing days where I've ever been on the field and I've had a lump in my throat. Genuinely felt moved by what was happening. Yeah. And I looked at Gareth Bates and and he said, "Oh, don't start now. I'll be going as well." And then after that, Andrew and I went and met for a coffee down at Remo's. At the time, I was looking to start up a veterans side for Aberafan to encompass all the clubs in Aberafan. And when Andrew told me of his idea then to set up a mixed ability side, likewise encompassing all the clubs within the Talbot area and surrounding areas as well, I thought, let's tie the two together, and it just mushroomed from there, really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can have both together, really, and it works quite well.
I suppose it's spiraled now as well, isn't it? Spiraled.
Yeah. What about you, John?
Yeah. Why did you? I think it's absolutely amazing to be part of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similarly for me, I think that was the Swansea Gladiators game. I also played that game, and I was in the clubhouse after the game, and an elderly lady called me over, and her son was clearly disabled. Must have been in his mid-40s or something. And the kickoff was at 2:00 on a Sunday afternoon. And she said how grateful she was to the Stars for hosting the game. She said, because at 8:00 that morning, he had his kit bag ready, sitting in the front room of the house, waiting to go, and you talk about lump in the throat. I got a lump in my throat thinking about that, and you just think, my God, if you can give something back, then this is the way forward, and when Andrew said about it, without hesitation, it was the right thing to do, Yeah. So that was my journey to it, really.
My kit bag's like on a Monday.
Monday, ready for Saturday,
Yeah.
Good man.
Next question. What's the best thing about joining the Panthers so far for both of you?
I'll let you go on to start with this one, John. Go on.
I think the people we've met, and certainly from within, boys like Justin, Lee Thomas, Lee McQuaid, people that I'd never previously met, and genuine, honest, good guys. Carl and Joel and Jack and Carl, his old man, there's just so many characters, too many to mention. But I'm nearly 60, and my opportunities for playing rugby are very quickly running out. I hope the Stars seconds get going again this year because I'm desperate to play more rugby. But certainly it was a lifeline for me. But it's the people you meet, and that's it. And I'll say this to you now, boys, okay? It's like, I know you've turned up and helped out at times, and that's testament to the type of people that you are. Do you know what I mean? It's, you got better things to do on a Sunday as youngsters, but the fact that you come and help out with things, I can't tell you how important that is to the likes of ourselves when we see that commitment from boys within the clubs within town, So, Stuart, over to you.
Well, couldn't put it much better than that, really, John. Likewise, if I could echo those sentiments, I think it's really become a family. Our hashtag very soon became rugby for everyone, and I think the Panthers epitomises that. It's more than just a rugby club now. I think Andrew's looking to diversify and and looking for volunteers for all walks and sectors. Maybe set up a darts team because it's just it's become a family. The Welsh Rugby Union. They set up, they do these things, it bugs me. they set up this initiative a few years back where they said, right, these are our core values. And the core values of the Welsh Rugby Union, I think they still got them somewhere on the website. They family, integrity, success, excellence, courage. And I think it's one more I forget. Anyway, it's all well and good having words. And sometimes the Welsh Rugby Union are far too keen to have like a slogan, an advertising campaign, without backing it up with what the words actually mean. And for me, the Panthers embody those words. They embody those core values. We're a family. The courage and integrity that the members show week in, week out, and the volunteers is just astounding and inspirational.
Yeah. I can't agree anymore. Like, from maybe a more outside perspective, everyone that's come on this podcast so far has said about family, and they said, everyone has said this is how they feel, and I said family, family, family. So obviously, you guys, you pull them through and you make them feel so homely. It's amazing, genuine.
Yeah, I think we spoke on our main podcast episode with Katie, how there should be a mixed ability section to every sport.
Yeah,
so we said there should be, and it shouldn't just be mainstream and then second team. There should be a mixed ability for every sport, and we're quite lucky that there is one to rugby. There should be one to football, netball, everything. It should be ones like in every sport. But yeah, how has joining the Panthers benefited you? So whether it's physically keeping fit or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, getting back on the field has been great, but I think going back to sort of the previous answer as well, it's making these new friends, meeting these inspirational people. Carl and Jack Powell's, I think their story is just it's the stuff that if ever you're feeling like life is getting a bit too tough for you or things are getting, just look at that story that what Jack and Carl have been through and come out through at the other end, and to see them take the field together as father and son is just inspirational. So meeting people like that for me has been by far the most overwhelming factor of being a part of the Panthers family.
Brilliant, John.
I mean, to be playing at the likes of the Talbot Athletic Ground and Tonmawr and the Stars and the Quins, at my time of life is just an honour, and a pleasure. And we're not role models, but being there to make sure that you can help as many people as you possibly can. You said something earlier about the word family. Family is an easy word to band around, but family are there when the chips are down. And we've had our issues in the Panthers in the last 6-12 months. But everybody rallies round, there's not a stone left unturned to make sure that the support base is there. And we need support at times, don't we? This lockdown's been difficult, it's been difficult for everybody. So we're all in need of a hand on the shoulder and a leg up every so often, you know. But going back to that darts thing, I'm developing the belly for it, so I might be up for that now, Stu.
I'm catching you up, mate.
We've got a teammate here, boys. We've got a teammate here. Genuine.
Cheers.
Next one. If the Panthers wasn't created, what do you think you'd be doing now? So obviously you said about the veterans teams too. Do you reckon I'd be going up or what?
Yeah, that was it sort of ended up tying the two in, you know, with the Panthers. It just made more sense, but probably something to do with veterans rugby in terms of play-in wise. Still, obviously, heavily involved with the administrational work with the Quins. So that's what I'd probably be doing rugby wise, and then my other passion is theatre. So I'm going to get a little plug in now. I've just finished writing, and I'm going to be making my directorial debut of a play about the life and times of Dick Penderyn called Iniquity Camworth. So that's what I'd be working on as well.
Yeah, great work.
Oh, class, interesting. Were you, John? Where would you be?
Just down the stars, doing what you can. Match day,
Drinking Guinness.
trying to help out. Drinking Guinness, but making sure the field's prepared, you know. And I'd be desperate to try and get the seconds up and running, you know. I'm playing, hopefully, you know, 30 minutes here, and you know, that would be mine. And just trying to get as many games in as I possibly can, you know. So that'd be about it.
I think we're
if
very.
I was
fortunate.
still playing. Oh God!
Go on.
If I was still playing, if I was 60, that's amazing. I'd love to be still playing.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
I know.
8 months away.
Yeah.
I think the town's very fortunate, isn't it, for where the Panthers has come. It's amazing.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Bev?
Favorite Panthers memory so far?
Stu?
Go on, I'll let you go first on this one, John. I can think of it.
Difficult one. For me, without a doubt, the first day I saw Jack and Carl playing, you know, and I didn't know the backstory. And again, we lumps in throats and crying is a theme of this, you know. But when I was talking to Carl earlier after the game, it was all I could do to stop myself bursting into tears. Basically, it was absolutely the most amazing and inspiring story, you know. And it's not the only amazing and inspiring story within the Panthers. There are lots of backstories, you know, but that is one that obviously stands out, and my respect for the two of them is off the scale, you know. So, Stu, over to you.
There's so many different.
Yeah, I'm going to follow that. I mean, I think it's a privilege, like John said, taking the field with people like that. If I had to highlight one moment, there's so many of them. You know, Worcester obviously is a big one. Brett Thomas is select 15. But I think for me, the standout moment was playing on a lovely sunny autumn afternoon up in Pontardawen, and we had young Nathan Watkins, who's a supporter of the Quins and loves his rugby, and this is an opportunity to see what he could actually bring on the field. And the boy loves to kick, right? He loves to kick the ball. Kicks all the time. Give him the ball, that's all he do is kick it, right? I was playing in the centre, and the ball came out to Nathan. Now he was coming in on an angle, and I seen him go to kick it, and I went, "No, Nathan, no, don't kick the ball." And he gave the most beautiful crossfield kick that I've ever seen of any level of rugby ever. And it landed directly in the winger's hands, and he just plonked over and scored the try. And then I just quickly went, "Well done, Nath,
All your rugby experience coming in there, Stu.
Yeah.
It always seems to happen like that as well, doesn't it? Right. It always seems to happen like that.
You and Nathan were quite close in school, Mike, weren't you as well?
Yeah. Quite close. He's our age.
He's a brilliant guy, honestly.
Yeah, good boy.
Again, it's just to add to that, I've only known Nathan from down the Quins. He'll stand on the touchline, and he's a great character. And what the Panthers has given somebody like Nathan now is the opportunity to enjoy something, not just being on the sidelines of it, but being involved. Yeah. And then I suppose that we all take for granted to a certain extent, you know. I certainly wouldn't take it for granted anymore now that I've been involved with the Panthers. And to see lads like him and the enjoyment that they take out of it makes it all worthwhile.
correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he probably wouldn't have played ever if the Panthers wasn't around. And I think what me and Declan see in the Panthers is everyone wants to be here to play. You probably don't get that in many rugby teams around, is that urge to play rugby, and they're there to play rugby. And it's great to see, especially with the Panthers, because you get 20, 30 odd boys turning up week in, week out to train and play. So, I mean, you could have a select side now.
Yeah.
3 teams.
I think we talked about
me buggered.
John's dropped.
No. Yeah.
Correct.
Where was I?
Roll.
Oh yeah. What is your role within the Panthers, boys?
I'd like to think entertainer. I don't know. I'll let the others talk about it. I end up, I try and entertain anyway. I don't know if I am or not.
It's that theatre experience, isn't it?
I must be.
What about you, John?
I hope to motivate, before a game, and motivate and make the boys relax, but realize what they've got, difficult question, really, because it's for others to see what your role is, really. But you hope that you can motivate boys. The one thing I say all the time before a game is that when we walk in that dressing room, we've all had a week of this, that, and the other. But what you got to do is just hang that up at the door and get together as a unit, because 25 or 30 become one in effect. So that's always been my mantra: is that we all stick together, and just move forward. So that's basically that's where I come from.
No, brilliant. Yeah. None of you like Mike getting the class clown, dances around the change room like a monkey, like.
Well, we all do.
I don't know, especially after a few strong boats.
Yeah.
This one's quite a good one. Pre-match routine, gents. So as soon as you wake up, do you have favorite type of music, favorite type of breakfast before you go?
I've always liked the full English, but it might not be the most advisory pre-match meal. But
that's what a prop does.
Yeah.
What are you, John?
Yeah.
Do you boys know what 3-in-1 oil is? So the 3-in-1 oil is a mix, so you put it on bicycle wheels and things like that to make them go a bit better. So a bit of 3-in-1 before, some synaptogen tablets, anything to try and keep you going.
I have noticed, but I'm definitely using more deep heat now. So God help me if if I'm playing when I get to 60, I'll be using a vat of deep heat.
I mean, I used to, and this is honest, I used to take 2 co-codemols before a game of rugby, which are painkillers, but I used to take them knowing that there'd be some pain. I don't do that anymore. But I bust my bicep on my right. I did that 2 years ago playing in the Bobo game. Luke Evans from Baglan was going over the line, and I awfully shot, went straight under, and caught his head, but he butted me and split it in half. So I'm running around, I'm thinking, God, my arm's aching. I look around, my arm is black. It's completely black, it's bleeding inside. So so that pain's like nothing,
Did you stop the try?
Did stop the try? Obviously, yeah.
Like Kyle Sinkerman, play through the pain. Brilliant.
Okay.
Bev.
Here's your turn, bro.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Who's your inspiration, boys, to maybe start the Panthers, to join rugby in life?
Oh,
do you have an inspiration?
Question. Really good question. I've probably got a couple. One of my grandfather, John will have known my grandfather, Wally Broad. Massive inspiration in terms of playing Dennis, probably as well, dragging me out jogging when I was like 7 years old. Believe it or not, a Stars stalwart who took me under his wing from a young age and really sort of showed me the mantra and the spirit of what rugby should be played in. That was Pat O'Brien, a massive influence on me. And then later in life, then I was lucky enough to go over to France and play a bit of rugby over there, and see other parts of the world. And there's a very good friend of mine, former captain, called Zé Di Chiara, who's a French-Italian prop, who was just, they don't come much tougher than those sort of boys. And he was an inspiration on and off the field, and still a very good friend through the sport of rugby.
Yeah.
For me, and I mentioned this on the Green Stars one, we've had Welsh Rugby Union players in the family, cousin and great uncle, my grandmother's brother. So always a keen interest in rugby. But to be honest, always played with friends, since 8 or 9 years of age. My best friend then was Steph Williams, played with him, and I've just played with friends through the years, and fortunately playing with the best of friends now, and it's like Stuart and myself, for instance, Stuart being a Quins guy, me being a Stars guy, really it should be a collision or a clash, shouldn't it? You know what I mean? I'd like to think that a lot of that is behind most of us at this time of life. You know what I mean? I love the relationship the Stars got with Baglan at the moment. Both respect each other as teams and things. Play hard against each other, but respect each other. And it's like this has brought a lot of people closer together. Simon from Taibach, knew Simon to say hello to, but wouldn't dream of having a pint with him, but you do now. Do you know what I mean? And a real inspiration, and I think should be an inspiration to all of us, is Andrew Harris. Andrew, his work rate, what he does for the Stars, what he does for the Panthers is just phenomenal. And I've got the utmost respect for him. The utmost respect.
Yeah, definitely. There's an awful lot for both Stars and Panthers.
Yeah, definitely.
Pestering people, texting them all the time, or
but that's replicated by other people in other clubs. You know what I mean? Because that's how our clubs work, isn't it? You know what I mean? Unless you've got those key individuals, it'll fall on its. Face.
You need someone like that in every club, don't you?
Absolutely, pulling it together.
The thing in it.
Yeah. Your favourite sports person or rugby player? Have we had that?
No.
Yeah.
Well, growing up, I think it was, for me, played all my schoolboy rugby in the 90s. So Jonah Lomo, and I played on the wing as well, wing or centre. Jonah Lomo was just, he changed the position. Lucky enough to meet the fella as well. And they say, don't ever meet your heroes. But he certainly was one that I'm glad that I did have the chance to meet, and was just an inspiration again on and off the field. I do a bit of work. I did a bit of work prior to lockdown with Cardiff Blues and the WRU. One of the jobs I have is looking after Sir Gareth Edwards. And again, I've only ever seen him play on video and tapes, recordings, but just an inspiration and a player. I think there's very few players that could transcend the amateur and professional era, but he was certainly one of them. I think who would have just excelled at any level at any era.
Yeah, definitely. That's insane. What about you, John?
I'm afraid to say I did see Gareth Edwards play, so I'm not old. But and it'll come as a surprise because he's an English second row. But Simon Shaw for me, which boys might not mean a lot to you, but Simon Shaw played for the Lions in his mid-30s. Was still playing at 39, 40 years of age, and I had such respect for that guy because he was never a star like Martin Johnson or any of that, but my God, every single game you knew that you had 100% from him. There was no quarter given. He was. So it's a really unusual choice. I love Brian O'Driscoll and people like that, but Simon Shaw for me, longevity and managed to keep himself in a shape that meant that his career lasted a long, long time. So that would be mine.
It's quite funny. I was only telling Declan today that he's one of the only few that have done the same country twice on a Lions tour.
There we are.
So
yeah, that's class.
Well done.
Good start.
Yeah.
Good question, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you boys have a favourite rugby teams, or maybe your clubs, or do you follow Pro 14 and stuff? I think I know what's coming.
I've never really bought into the regions. I ought to be well, I hope this doesn't go too viral because I work for Cardiff Blues.
Stuart's is Carmarthen and John's is Taibach.
Yeah.
I actually played school at Taibach. My grandfather I was talking about earlier, he's a stalwart of, he was a life member at Taibach. But no, it's got to be Mighty Quins for me. Mighty Quins all the way.
John?
Yeah.
Stars, obviously, regional, locally, not quite regionally. And it would be Munster from a regional. I just love the integrity of that club, you know. They don't have the wealth of Leinster in Dublin. They're in a bit of a backwater in Limerick, but that club is just unbelievable. And I've been to Thomond Park on a few occasions, and the atmosphere there is just unbelievable. And it's almost like being in an international arena with only 20-odd thousand people there. You know, it's incredible. So yeah, they'd be my boys.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Your favourite Panther? So whether he's a player or coach.
It's a hard one.
That's a very tough question, Andy, boys. Yeah. How would you get out of this one?
All of them.
I love them all.
All of them.
No, there's so many. Yeah, you're right. There's so many different stories and inspirational in their own right, and we have all become one family. I go back again to what I said about the WIU core values, and the Panthers really embody and epitomise these values, I think. So I'm going to give you a few different people and a few different examples of why they are my favourites, because they represent those values. So
that's great.
Humour would be Joel. You know, to see the enjoyment and fun that he gets out of being on that field. Again, you could throw Nathan Watkins into the mix there as well. Family would be Carl and Jack Powell's. Absolutely inspirational, a privilege to take the field with them every time. Courage, I'd probably go with Justin Martin. You know, we know, and he's been quite open as well with the battles that he faces on and off the field. And I think sometimes, you know, we tend to, especially as men, we tend to try and keep a lid on that. And it, you know, it's important that we are aware and talk about these feelings. So I think courage there with Justin. Success has got to be, for me, Andrew Harris, you know, bringing it all together. Excellence. The co-captain on the call with me be here now, you know. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, John, but I think you're excellent on and off the field. And then integrity. Again, you know, you look at our coaches, everything that they bring when they volunteer and the time that they give up and the passion that they bring as well. So Terry, Lee Alford, Ralph, Lee Thomas. So yeah, there's so many to mention, but just to pick out a few there.
Yeah, brilliant. I couldn't add to that, you know, and obviously Stuart brings his own distinct application to things, you know, both on and off the field. So honestly, there are so many characters and so many great people involved that it would be impossible to single anybody. As a group, I think we're second to none, and I've been around rugby a long, long time, you know, but as a group, honestly, I've never known support and stuff like it. So it's, the whole Port Talbot Panthers, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing for me. Just seeing the amount of different characters, you don't know their stories. They've all got something different to say. Every single training session that's inspirational, isn't it?
Good man.
Yeah.
Yep. Good man.
Yeah. And I think they're very lucky to have the pair of you as well as co-captains as well, because you set a fine example within your own clubs and within the Panthers as well. So.
And that could have created its own problems, but I think Stuart and I respect each other a lot, you know, and you know, if there's a game where Stuart says this is important to me, I'd like to captain, absolutely crack on, you know, and it's reciprocal, you know, so it works really, really well, you know, where it could have been an issue, you know, but
I think the Panthers is bigger than that rivalry anyway.
Absolutely.
A lot of players coming from all different clubs, like me and Declan from Stars. It could be people from Taibach, people from Bagan, people from Quam come to play. It'd be just a game of rugby.
And it's about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Exactly. It's a lot bigger issues as well, especially in a team like.
And wider than Talbot as well. You know, we've got boys from Pencoed. We've been invited to Bridgend College. You know, it's become infectious, and the reason for that is, the people that are involved and the people that are joining us, much like yourself, gents, everyone that's becoming involved in whichever capacity and whatever they're doing is just spreading that enthusiasm, and it does become infectious, and people want to be involved and to be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
You can't think of too many rugby clubs, senior rugby clubs, that have got the amount of women involved that the Panthers has, and a big up to them. Do you know what I mean? Because women are very often the driving force of things, and Emma and people like that, and Janet, they're always there, they're always supporting, and they should never be forgotten that they're as much a part of the Panthers as any of us, whether be it coaches, players, whatever, so just important to make that point.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you very much, gents.
Yeah,
thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
I think it's great to have you both on at the same time rather than one at a time.
Yeah, mix up.
Me and I've said exactly the same thing anyway, so saves us next half hour.
Only one difference.
Little and large, but we're both large. Okay. Boys, and it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having us, and thanks for hosting this. It's great to see the other boys doing it, and you're putting your effort in, and good on you. Great stuff.
Awesome.
No, I really enjoyed, boys. I actually listen to your podcasts now when I'm painting the nursery ready for the arrival in August. So keep up the good work, boys. Really enjoying it.
Thank you very much. So before we finish, just give everyone a wave while they're watching.
Cheers, Panthers. Cheers, lads.